Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I have invited a professional lady from ARAMCO to talk a little bit about her career and her experience working as an engineer. Could you please introduce yourself and perhaps what your profession is?
Okay, my name is Qin Guo. I have been joining ARAMCO for about 6.5 years. Before that, I worked for Chevron, and before that, I worked for Schlumberger. And joined ARAMCO about 6.5 years, working for Chevron for about 9.5 years, then Schlumberger and 10.5 years. So add up, plus I also worked in China for seismic bureau. That's about 3.5 years. So add up, I already worked for more than 30 years. So I'm approaching my retirement.
Oh, I see. And what exactly is your profession?
I'm doing oil and gas business exploration. Basically, it's like we use seismic technology. It's kind of like you go to the hospital, do the CT scan, that kind of technology. But we use a large scale to explore the geology structure. So the role of I hold is called seismic data processing, but basically it's technology to scanning, to imaging the underground structure to find the
Mhm.
oil, gas.
So it
That's
is like a combination of technology, engineering, and geology.
It's belong to the earth science, but it can be, but for my particular field, it's more involved mathematics and physics. It's belong to, my title is a geophysicist. So it's
Mhm.
a earth science physicist. So for the I myself, I'm just working on the developed software. For the person develop software, they need a good physics, mathematics, and also computer coding skills. So I also think it's good. It's a high demanding. It's not easy work. It's belong to science. I think it's we call us scientists.
Wow, that sounds like it's an intersection of a lot of topics. And did
Yeah,
you
it's
major
like either you are in engineer or the scientist, or you are in the another not the like it's more, or you are in other field like maybe art. We are not that, so we are belong to the science engineer side, but we're more towards the science.
And did you major in a science field in college?
Yeah, my major, I got my major, both master and my bachelor major in geophysics. So this major is not very common. Not all college offer this major. Very limited. Both in China or in US, the school are limited with this major. You say most school have geology department, but not necessarily have geophysics. Sometimes geophysics has its own department, but most time maybe just one or two professors do some geophysics research, either within a natural science college or some even within the geology department. But my college, we had our own department, but the department also changed.
Mhm.
About 30 years ago, the school has a totally different. There are five majors in one department. Now later on they change. They maybe combine with some environmental or some it's different now. I think detail. I don't know. I don't know what they changed.
That's true. I don't think I've heard a lot of people studying geophysics, but since it's
Yes.
such a rare major, how did you come about choosing that?
Oh, for me, it's really it's also unknown. I came from a remote place of China. It's called the
Mhm.
Yunnan province. It's the mountain area, and like I went to college in 1981. That time, my goal was to get into Beijing University. That's the top one or two school in China. It's
Yes.
like a half a year type level school in China. Unfortunately, because my hometown is remote, so the university only came to recruit very few students each year. And
Mhm.
in that particular year, 1981, only six uh, students was recruited into the Beijing University. Two for mathematics, two for physics, and two for geophysics. I was balanced between mathematics and physics. I found they both not easy for me to continue. So we choose the one we think may be easier one. So that's a
Mhm.
geoscience. And at that time we didn't know what this is about. And so I went to the college, started for geophysics, end up is do more like earthquake prediction type job, nothing
Mhm.
related to oil and gas business. So that's the reason when I graduated from college and my first job in China, I was assigned with government. It's part of government work. It's doing earthquake prediction for 3.5 years. Then I left to US and I got a scholarship from University of Houston. So at Houston, that is the oil. It's like a center of oil business, global wide. So I switched. I became exploration geophysics. So that's the reason I got into this oil and gas business. It's more practical. Earthquake
Mhm.
prediction, it's kind of it's really research. It's very uncertainty. It's very hard to like if you're for living, it's not a good income. Uh, but it's some fundamental research. Each country, particularly some country have more earthquake like Japan, China, or maybe US have some government or some you in college. Like US maybe in just the college have some professor, they have some research done. Maybe US also has some called geological survey or some department
Mhm.
involved in the earthquake monitor, not a prediction. In Japan, maybe also more like a control how to control the damage of earthquake or how to uh, um, define the code, how strong the building need to be resistant to the earthquake. But in
Mhm. Wow.
China, we that time we did more wild. We just went into earthquake. But now I think maybe they also scale back to more like evaluation the damage of the earthquake or do the
Mhm.
building construction, the strength design for the resistant earthquake damage.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah,
And
so for
as
me, both are challenging. Earthquake prediction are challenging. This oil business is also challenging because
yeah.
you are basically use unknown information to predict unknown stuff.
Mm-hmm. And as you know, I am someone that, well, first of all, I'm a girl, and I'm also someone that cares about science. It's a possible field that I might go into one day. And at the same time, I also really care about equality within the STEM field, STEM meaning science, technology, engineering, and math. So, have you ever had an experience when you looked around yourself, whether it's in college or in a workplace, and you think, wow, I am the only woman here, or I am the only Chinese woman here.
Yeah, it's always even in particular here. Right now, Saudi Aramco changing a lot. There are more and more women becoming employee. But still the portion is still very low, less than, I think maybe less than 10, 20%. Particular for our like expat, it's even lower. Sometimes in a meeting room, you found that you are the only woman there. I think this will be even for the developed country like in US, uh, women in science, particularly in engineer, still a small ratio.
And why
Particular
do you
for
think that?
the yeah,
And
for
why do you think that?
particular for the senior, most people in US, I don't think women work as long as the men. So some women they got married, they had kids, then they just quit the job. But for myself, I like work, and I also have two daughters. So one young, I have one older daughter. She's going into the business, finance. But my younger one is studying engineer, and I really encouraging her to do the engineer because I do have a few Chinese co-workers, not co-workers, friends like neighbors or church friends. They are in engineer in US. I think they did much better than me, and I think because engineer skill is different from science. Sometimes, if you are as a woman, there are, I think maybe nice woman in the engineer, and the engineer really the experience build up. So I do think the woman to the engineer is a good choice. Uh, Science may be more challenging to me. I think even I worked so long in this geophysics, it involved keep learning because we are working on like uncertainty, unknown to unknown. So technology changed dramatically. When computer power changed, our uh, like geophysics also have more things to use. Like before, computer limited, you cannot develop some of the skill. But now it's just for me, it's every year have new thing I need to learn. Even after I almost in this field for more than 25 years, but still a lot of to learn. So it's you have to compete with younger generation. Uh, some is easy for all the people, for the experienced people to pick up, but some things you cannot compete with young people. They are smarter. They adopt the technology much quicker.
That is true, but I feel like there should be more conversations between older workers perhaps and younger workers because older workers they have the experience. They're veterans in a sense.
Yeah, I think it doesn't matter when and in which field. I think it need this what they call like good
Mhm.
mentor and mentee relationship. You need to each other from each other.
Yes. And you currently work in Aramco, right?
Yeah, yes.
So what is your experience like working for Aramco?
Well, ARAMCO has a ARAMCO culture. Actually, each company culture, and
Mhm.
some company has their own saying. Uh, Aramco doesn't have. I don't. At least I don't know myself. In Chevron always has a saying the Chevron way. It's
Mhm.
like a human energy. That's the Chevron. But Aramco, I didn't see something like this. But each company has its culture, and even each department, each divisions, even for each team, different team need have different like a way to behave. Aramco is a great company. There are a lot of opportunities, and particular for my field, oil business, because Aramco is the largest oil company, so there are a lot of projects. For my previous two companies, we always have busy time, some like quiet time. Here, it's always busy. It's always have something need to be done right away or must be done in the line. So it's a lot of work. It's good, and also the company also have quite a good resource like a computer power, and also the company changed quite a bit. Like after I joined for 6.5 years, you can tell the management different. Now even my most recent team lead is a young Saudi lady. She's so young, maybe just like half my age. So really it's changing dramatically here.
And because maybe she's young or maybe because she's a woman, do you ever see any discrimination against women in your workplace?
I don't think so. I think right now Aramco is promoting women. So I think a woman maybe have some privilege to work here because they
That's
promoted
wonderful.
it. Yeah, they promoted you. In US, I'm not sure. It's different company, different. But in US, the government doesn't allow to any discrimination on the age, on your race, or your sex, like woman versus man. And I think overall, women maybe have a better chance to succeed if you are in engineer or science because of nice competition. Because the men compete with less role. Even for applied college, they said sometimes women you maybe have better chance to get into Harvard, Yale, MIT because there are more men compete
Wow,
for
okay. So Aramco obviously supports professional women and they want women to take.
Aramco.
Oh, I'm so sorry. My mic, for some reason, my camera does not work anymore.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I think it's wonderful. I also do really see a future of women in STEM and perhaps more inclusive.
Yeah, I think you are in college, you are in a high school, right?
Yeah, I'm in my second year of high school.
Yeah, I think you should be glad you are in good position. You have a bright future. I think
Yes.
woman is good. I think it's good to be a woman because particularly you are like an engineer or actually any field is good. It's not necessary to do the engineer or science. Anything as long as you have passion. Or even like me, at beginning I don't know what's about the geophysics it's about. But as long as I started working on it, I just put my passion in it. So everything you just put your passion in, you always have, you will enjoy more.
That's good to hear. Last question for the day. Is there anything short you'd like to say to girls out there that perhaps want to pursue a career in science or engineering?
You mean for my daughters or for
Any girl who's watching this.
uh, for myself, I don't know if I give me choice, I maybe choose the engineer over science. I don't know, just because like what do they say? The grass is greener over the other side of the fence. So when I'm in the science, I think, oh, maybe I should pick an engineer. But I think actually doesn't matter. When I'm in the engineer, maybe I want to go to science. But I think for me, definitely stay in engineer or science.
And is there Yes, and is there anything motivational you want to say to people who are maybe girls who are hesitating on whether to choose engineer or not? Like anything you want to say to motivate them?
I think engineer and science, like they have good pay, right? This is we have to make a living. I think that's one of a good reason you jump into the science or engineer, and also if you have the ability, if you are gifted, you are lucky, you are smart, why not to continue with engineer and science? And yeah, not waste your ability, but you do need to make effort. It's not the same, it's easy.
Yeah, have to be realistic.
Yeah, because particular marketing, even you have a job, you have to keep working hard to hold on it, because the marketing always changing. So I think for me, if you, for any girl or even for boys, they always want to pursue something as their career. It doesn't matter what career. You have to prepare yourself. It's not easy, nothing easy. You have to make your effort the whole time. And not only soft skill or hard skill, like you really your technique, also some soft skill. You have to learn how to like dealing with your coworkers, your boss, like all this
Of course.
relationship. Yeah. So
yeah, that was really good advice, and I think that brings us to the end of our interview. Once again, thank you so much for coming here and having this discussion with me. I think it's really insightful. I've never learned so much about geophysics before, so thank you.
oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me here.
Okay. Now I'm